happens at an adjuster's meeting? I think this is a very common question from homeowners. Like, well, what's going to happen when this adjuster comes? So walk us through, Garrett. Like, what does a common adjuster's appointment look like?
Well, the adjuster's going to show up. He's going to come talk to the homeowner, let them know that we're going to do an inspection. And this inspection should be, if you have chosen a good contractor, should basically be a repeat of what your contractor's already done. So they'll come take a look at your entire property. They're going to walk around your entire home, and they're going to look for, the things that we had mentioned earlier on, such as any obvious signs to your house or your property, such as blown off siding or holes in your siding, dings on your soft metals and gutters and downspouts. They call this collateral damage. And what this does for your adjuster is actually helps them put together the full story.
Yeah.
Right. If they are going to approve a claim, it's got to make sense.
Yeah.
They can't have they take a lot in consideration with this. And that's why they print out, they have storm reports, because they're going to take into consideration the size of the hail, the intensity of the storm, like what direction was the wind coming from? What direction was the storm moving? And they're going to take all this into consideration as they go and look at your property, but it should be a pretty detailed inspection. Your adjuster appointment shouldn't be a 10-minute inspection. Usually it's up to an hour to an hour and a half inspection while they're there, depending on the size of the property.
Yeah.
So, and another thing that's going to happen during that adjuster appointment, you may notice them marking stuff with chalk.
Yeah.
Or they might have a flashlight looking at your gutters, and you may be wondering, like, what? It's in the middle of the day. Why do they have a flashlight out? Why are they drawing on my house or my roof or something like that? Well, when it comes to your roof, an adjuster's going to get up there and draw out what we call test squares. It's a 10 by 10, a 10 foot by 10 foot square on all four sides of your roof.
Yeah, they're not playing hopscotch on your roof. Just so you know.
No. This is so that 10 by 10 test square is actually acting as like a summary for all of the slopes on that roof. So they have one on each side, and they're not going to spend the entire time looking at every square inch of your roof. So they take this 10 by 10 as into consideration, basically for a summary of the damages on that one side. So you'll see them, draw that test square out. You'll see maybe markings on gutters of chalk or downspouts of chalk. It helps bring out the damages to make sure they're easier to see. Because at the end of the day, these adjusters are going to go around and take hundreds of photos. And then these photos are going to get sent back to, somebody that's a desk adjuster, which is oftentimes the decision maker.
Yeah.
And the decision maker doesn't, very rarely are they ever out there on the property. They're going to sit back and look at the pictures that were taken and make a determination on the damages from that. Yeah. So, they're going to go around and during an adjuster appointment, that's kind of what happens during that inspection.
Yeah, because it used to be years ago. I mean, we would go to these adjuster appointments and they would just write it up and give them a check, on the spot. I approve this. Insurance companies have learned they want a little bit of gatekeeping happening. They don't want it to be that easy anymore. Yeah. So very, like you said, there are occasions still where you will see an approval on site, but very rarely is that the case anymore. Now it's, whether it's an adjuster from the insurance company or a third party adjuster that's going to come out and do these inspections, which is becoming more and more common.
Yeah.
To where the third party comes out, the insurance company doesn't even come. It's some third party company. They do the inspection and they send that information to the adjuster. And it's really unfortunate because I don't want to say it's a way for insurance companies to get out of paying damage. They deal with a lot of claims and they got to figure out how to make this process work. But I think sometimes it, makes it tougher to get a claim approved when somebody deserves it, when you don't have people out there that actually make the decision.
Yeah.
And also when you have third party companies, that work only for the insurance companies. They don't ever work for any homeowners.
No.
They only work for insurance companies.
Don't let them fool you.
It's like, who would you be more loyal to? The person who pays you or the person who doesn't pay you?
Yeah.
Just one of those thoughts there. But yeah, so they're going to come out, they're going to do these inspections. They're very thorough inspections, I like to think. And like you said, like a good contractor will have already done this inspection, have an inspection report and estimate. And, I find it common, even though we send those to them ahead of time, they don't look at them. Or they say they don't look at them. I don't always even believe that they don't look at them. They will say, oh, I want to have a fresh set of eyes on it. And it's like, I mean, that's fine. And then, another important thing, I think you may have mentioned it there, but they should look at interior damage. So like if you have any interior damage, any leaks on the inside of your home from this storm damage, we want to show that to the adjuster, which means you should be home during it. I think it's great for homeowners to be home during these inspections to help advocate. Again, it's not a time to like combat or fight the adjuster.
Yeah.
It's a time to look at the facts.
Yeah. And this goes back to why it's important to have a contractor out there as well, because, the third-party adjusters are becoming a lot more common. And to be honest with you, they go out there, they look for the obvious stuff. They'll send in pictures of the obvious stuff. And if you're not there as a contractor, pointing out the things that are likely to be missed to them is going to be helpful up front. Because on the other side of things, if it wasn't a third-party adjuster, then the person that's making the decision or having to make adjustments on the back end, if there's supplements, just takes out more of their time. And they would want to avoid that and take care of everything up front. But if it's a third-party guy out there, he takes pictures, sends it off, and it's out of his hands.
Yeah.
So he doesn't care if there's more work on the back end or not. They're going to take pictures of the obvious stuff. So it's important to have a contractor out there, especially when there's a third-party guy to walk with them through the inspection to make sure they're not missing anything.
Yeah. And that's why a lot of our customers will hire us to work with them, is because they want us to be there for that meeting. They want us to advocate for them with the insurance company as an expert in storm damage. So that way they have the highest chance of getting approved at that initial adjuster's appointment meeting. Because too commonly, if homeowners don't have a contractor there, they don't get approved. And then they got to start the whole process over. And then this is when they start to bring in contractors. And now the contractor's kind of playing from a hole, so to speak.
Yeah.
That they got to dig out of because they've already set up one story, right? Like the adjusters meeting is a story they put together of what has happened here to cause this damage. And if they've already kind of put the story together one way, now the contractor has to fight our way back out of it. So it's just easier to have a contractor there initially to help ensure you have the best chance of getting approved as possible.
Absolutely.
Yeah.